And many of those may be joining us for the first time because of the man to my right on my screen, and that, of course, is Howard Beckett. And I want to say a few words about my friend, my mate Howard, because, you know, we've been in a contest up until this point, and we've had our own campaigns. We've got a lot of shared common platforms. We wanted to take our union in a particular direction. We absolutely are determined to keep our union on the left and to oppose any rightward shift that would undermine so much of what we fought so hard to deliver over the course of not just the last 10 years in terms of Len's leadership, or even the last 15 years in terms of Unite, but through our working lives. You know, we're dedicated to changing society, to building that new, fairer, more equal, right now, that greener society as well. And Howard has he's made a decision last week to support me now in this campaign and to withdraw his own campaign, his own self, from the race to become General Secretary. And I know that that wasn't easy for Howard. I know that that was a difficult conversation. I want to thank Howard personally and publicly for what he's done, because that selfless act now puts us in pole position out of a previous scenario where we had 4 people in a race. Nobody believed that Gerard Coyne would make it onto the ballot paper, but Gerard did make it onto the ballot paper. And when he did, we had to sit down and we had to try to reach an accommodation. And I'm incredibly pleased that Howard was the first one to do that, the only one up until this point to do that, of course, but the one that came and sat down and worked with us on a common platform that we'll now take forward together to win this election, but not just to win this election, but to lead our union. So I'm incredibly proud, honoured and pleased to be able to introduce Howard Beckett to you tonight and to give Howard the floor. I know Howard wants to say a few words, so I want to give him the floor to say whatever he wants to say right now, and then I'll come back in and continue with my contribution. So very, very welcome, Howard, and all of your team that have joined us tonight. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Round of applause. I can clap. I can be heard. Listen, thank you very much, Steve, for those words. And thank you for the invitation for myself tonight and others from my campaign who are now part of the campaign to deliver Steve as General Secretary. And as Steve has said, you know, throughout this campaign, we've had differences in respect of emphasis, but we've always known that Steve and I are on the left of our union and the importance of keeping our union on the left going forward. So for all of us in respect of our wish to try and talk about our own vision, to talk about our own leadership and why we should be the General Secretary of Unite, everything had to change as soon as Gerard Coyne made the ballot paper, because the reality for all of us is that the role of our union in society, the role of our union within our movement has to be on the left. To lose our union at this moment in time to the right wing, coming out of crisis, to lose our union for perhaps 10 years would be a catastrophic amount of damage for working class people, something that none of us should be prepared to have on our conscience. The importance at this moment in time of stepping forward, and Steve referenced my stepping forward, but Steve showed leadership in respect of this, in welcoming the conversation and making sure that our manifestos could become a joint manifesto for our union going forward, in welcoming our ideas about modernising our union, taking our union forward with Unite TV, ensuring that we now have a decentralised union, one that talks of federalism within our nations and makes sure that we are ahead of the game in respect of ensuring that our members have their own voice, one that leans towards branch democracy and makes sure that we discuss membership rates and how we can bring membership rates down for precarious work in particular, and one that talks about gender rights and anti-racism being through everything that we do as a union, not separate departments, but being embedded within our organising strategy. So as we're organising in workplaces where we know there's a gender pay gap and organising in those sectors where we know there is racism, real leadership has been shown in order to bring us together, in order to fight for the future of our union. And whenever I talk about the future of our union, and I would ask everybody on the Zoom tonight, everybody who's watching, please let's conduct ourselves, and I know we will, as a positive campaign about what we offer for our union going forward. Nothing that needs to be negative, but it is important that we reference the differences between candidates. It is important at this moment in time that we talk about a candidate who has been in every role that our union has asked him to play. It is important that we talk of a candidate who understands our industrial as much as our political and as much as our international. It is important that we talk about a union not being micro, not solely placed in the workplace, but a union that talks also for retired members and community members. It is important that we talk of our international role, of our role in respect of politics and society. It is important that we talk of education and how bringing departments together we can find the champions of our regions and our nations, our workplaces and our communities, and we can give them the strength to go forward on that journey where they become not just an activist, but also a rep, an organizer, an officer, a rep in wider society. And that is why Steve's candidature is now unique on that ballot paper. Notice the word now there. Now unique on that ballot paper, offering a wide vision of our union, experience in respect of everything that our union does, and vitally no stepping back. You know, Steve referenced the last 10 years of what we've achieved under Len's leadership. And during that 10 years, Unite has become a force for good in society. We have become a buttress for the left in society. We have been something that the establishment fears. Nobody talks about the General Secretary election of any other union apart from Unite. And the reason for that is that they know the role that we can play in society going forward. They know that if we can transform ourselves into this modern union, make sure that we decentralize, they know the power that Unite can be going forward, and that will be a force for the left going forward. And I'll finish by saying this, I'm a great one for quotes. I love quotes. From Gandhi saying that poverty is violence, from Nelson Mandela saying that if you can teach somebody to be a racist, you can educate them not to be racist. From quotes everywhere, but the quote that most strikes me right here now is Martin Luther King, who said that the arc of history is long, but it tends to lean towards justice. This, comrades, is our stretch towards justice. This is not the time to expose our union to the right wing or to expose our union to singular messages. This is the time now for us to be strong and ambitious, to be the voice for working class communities as much as workers in the workplace. This is the time for us to make sure that our departments do not work in silos, but come together to show the true strength of Unite. Our organising, working with our industrial, working with our political and working with our education. This is time now for us to give a platform to the most vulnerable in society. This is a time for us to tell people that 1% for the NHS, precarious work, 0-hour contracts are all because of the politics of the society that you live in. And it is Unite who will provide the voice for people, and it is Unite that will provide the platform for people, and it is Unite that will continue to be a force for the left and for good in society, and we are not backing down. Solidarity, comrades, get behind Steve.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. I wish everybody could unmute and give the same applause to a fantastic contribution there.